Morning. I'm still not well, but I'm going to go spend 1 hour in fresh air and then come back and do my studying the best I can. The only way I get things done is to write them down. I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called Write It Down and Make It Happen, because that's the best book ever. That's how I get things done. So today my list is written down, and one of the things I need to get done, because this is the last day of October, is I need to I need to plant my garlic. I've never planted garlic before. It's going to be a first for me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the allotment. I've got I just realized I didn't need to overcomplicate it, because I've got some beds which are already ready and just need something to put in them. I looked up square foot gardening parameters for garlic. I need 9 per square, and I think I've got enough empty squares to do that. And then the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out my sitting area by putting some cardboard underneath the bit of artificial turf that was there already, in order that I can actually stop weeds growing through it. And that's it. Those are the 2 jobs I'm doing today, nothing more. I don't want to spend a lot of time. And since this is my own diary, I got to talk to myself. And right now I'm just arriving. One of these days I'll come and find the chips I ordered have arrived. Okay, there we go. Oh, maybe I'll go this way. You know, it's so hard to decide how to park when you're the first car in a car park, isn't it? So right now I'm trying to decide how to park, and I think this will do. I like being able to view what's ahead of me. It makes me smile, as you can see. Right, see you soon. Right, excusez-moi. Got myself some of these because the weather's changed now. So now it's too wet for normal shoes, and I didn't even have anything for here. So this is going to work perfectly for the allotment. So they'll live in the car, and when I come and arrive, that's it. I feel like a real farmer now. Right, let's go get a wheelbarrow and get going. Hi. Okay, so this is what we got. These are, I actually bought them specifically for planting from a normal farmer shop, and I'm just going to break them apart and then put them in there. So let's get going. Forgotten to get myself a stool. I apologize for sniffing consistently, but at least I'm here. going for 5 per square because it feels like these pods are quite big, so I don't want to make them too narrow and then end up with no successful growth. And as you can see, all the stuff I keep breaking into there gets broken down and ends up being used to improve the soil, and over time my soil will go from looking as it does now to looking darker. Okay, that's one. Square down. Wow, there's a lot of garlic on here. I hope I have enough space for all of it. But it's a garlic within a garlic. So it'll be a fascinating clove to see grow. Oh, almost double planted that. There we go. These roots, and despite the fact that this is not a true, well, it is like a no dig, because what I did is I put paper underneath to stop weeds, and so compared to the other places this works, but it's hard work because I have to sieve all the soil. But it's working well. I'll just move up a little bit, move my rubbish out of the way. So there are 15 bulbs in there. Let's see if we can get some more in here. So if I've done 15 here, I can put 5, 10, 15, 20 bulbs. So this whole bed will then be full, and I can start to work on another bed. Now, mustard greens are going to be cut down simply because of the fact that they didn't go down well. Apparently they were very bitter. I knew they were bitter. I forgot to warn the people I gave it to that it was bitter. So what you do when you pull up the weeds is you don't have to move them. You just pull them up, fly them on top. They'll become part of your soil enrichment. Right, let's carry on. This is the next lot. That's one. Two. The soil is so damp. Oh, sorry. 3. 4. They say they go down at least 3 times their height, so that's what I'm trying to achieve with this. I need a dowel, one of those pointy, sticky things to help me plant easier. See, look, soil is very clayey, but hopefully it will improve. So these guys can go here now. Oh my days. So you little ladies are in here. I've got some slugs, but these slugs need to be thrown out. Where have you gone? There you are. You're the guys who've been eating my friends, my plants, even if I don't eat them. And this one is trying to, you know, it's amazing how well you get used to stuff that you never used to be able to deal with, which is like touching slugs used to be like, oh, the U factor was great, but now I'm like, yep, I can do it. Okay. I'm going to still, oh, when you break something as you try to steal it. Oh, what a waste. But I'll sew it off from there. Let's do this. So I'm going to do is this. Needs must. And that works. That's one. Put it in the right way around. Needs must. Oh, it works. See? Invention. Oh God, Stella. It's how done for. That's two. Needs must. And then after this I'm going on to study. Can't wait to get it all done with. So I can just focus on this afterwards. Sometimes, you know, you think you're ready until you get there, and then you realize you weren't prepared, you didn't know what to expect, and that's what happened with me. So it was not at all as I expected the assessment was. So I failed. I haven't failed many times in my life, so that was a shock to me. That sounds, you know, arrogant to say that, but it's the truth. It is the truth of the matter. I think this works. Okie dokie. Let's just get these sorted. Yeah, I don't often fail. So when I fail, it's hard. It's not a lesson I learned. So if your child is not failing, apparently you need to make sure that you create an environment in which they can learn to fail and rise up. And how to rise up, it's not that I've never failed actually when you think about it. I have failed, but you know, I didn't consider it failure. This is the first time I've had a failure I considered a failure. Right, these guys are being chucked out. The sluggies going near my food. So yeah, because I didn't look at it and try again. I looked at it as this is the final. I need to do this and then get it done. It was a tough one for me, but you probably can't even see me now, but you can probably hear me talking. The good thing about having garlic here is it will put off the, what's it called? The slugs, I think. I don't know if the slugs eat garlic. We don't know. Never considered it. Because never grown garlic. And so, I don't know. So these little slugs have been hiding in my compost material. So I'll need to think of a different way of composting that doesn't allow that. But for now, this works. Okay. I need to get some more. There's no cleanliness in gardening. Basic gardeners. This little stool is a godsend, because without it, life was tough in these low beds. But now, oh, this little tool I've created, like a Stone Age woman would, has worked well. So it's all going in very nice and easy. It's pity they use plastic. It's something that was supposedly organic. So a lot of people can grow garlic, and the way they do it is they just go to a shop, buy a garlic clove, break it apart and put it in the ground. You don't need to go buy special garlic seeds. Oh, come on, this one is refusing to open up. Ew! Ew! I've just seen a slug, that's why I'm going ew. I don't like them. I really don't like slugs. Ugh, this one is refusing to open. Ah, come on. Huh? You know you want to open. Voila! Success. Now, where did I get to? I got to here. Nearly done with this, and then I'll do the bit I said about my sitting area and setting it up with newspaper so weeds don't grow through the turf. And then I'll be done. And I'll go home and get back to study. This is like a nice mini break to help me, you know, depressurize, de-stress, whatever you want to call it. And it has worked well. I've got a few more bulbs to go, so probably I'll put them in where the beans are, due to the fact that I don't think the beans will grow. There we go. So the beans can have companions, which are these garlics, these few cloves that are left. I've got 3 cloves left. Okay, I think that's enough for you. Right, this is the area we're going to work on. As you can see, artificial turf. So I'm going to get rid of the weeds, clear it, and put all the cardboard down, and then put it back down. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. That's me done. It's taken me, as expected, an hour to do the 2 things I set out to do, and I'm happy with the result. I just need to put my stuff away, and then I can go home. So it's good to get a time limit on when you do certain things so that you don't get fed up of it. And for me, this is enough. I planted the garlic, I've cleared the weeds from here. This is the space I like to have clear. I need to get rid of that pole thing. Well, the cage, I really don't like it. It's cutting into my view of the allotment as a whole, so that will be going as well. That'll be another task, probably a task on its own, 1 hour to take it down, and then another hour to create a bed space. And with the idea I have in my head as to how I'm going to create my bed spaces, I think I'll create one big bed, because of what I'm thinking what I might be doing when I finally get round to planting that area. But for now, this is me done. Hopefully it's helped the cold as well. Now I'm going to go home, make a cup of tea, drink it, and rest and study. That's it. I'm done. Hello and happy Sunday. Welcome. And today I'm finally pulling my finger out and then I'm going to sort out my avocado plant, which volunteered to grow, and I haven't been looking after it that well. So step one of the plan is to create a self-watering pot to keep it indoors throughout the winter. To do that, we need 2 pots, one which can nest into another pot. As you can see, these two are their best friends. What I'm going to do is, this is my reservoir pot and that is my plant pot. We'll make holes in here. Purpose of those holes is to pull and draw water from the bottom into the main pot using this self-watering system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of the cord. This is self-wicking cord. Pull it through from the bottom to the top, all the way through the soil to at least 2 inches just below the top of the soil, because you do not wish to have wetness on your compost indoors, because then you get mites. And then we're using this soldering iron to make the holes in the bottom. All right, let's get going. I don't actually need any more than the 2 holes, as the water will be moved upwards, so we're just going to leave it at 2 holes. Need to put this somewhere safe. Okay, so now that we've done that, I just need to find the end of this, and what I want it to do is I want this to sit inside the small pot right to the bottom, and then leak into the top pot right up to about here, because I'm not going to take the soil all the way up to the top. I'm going to leave the soil slightly below, so probably up to about here. So I want the cord to reach here. So what I do is, oh look, this one is already cut up. So what I do is I lift this so that I can gauge this length, and then I take it from there. So it's going to be sat like this, so all it will need is about this much, and you want it to reach the bottom so that if you do forget to water it, you still have a little bit of leeway. And then I'm going to cut it just about there. So I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger, because what I do is I do make a knot in it to make sure that it can't, not that it can, but it's just me. That's the way I do it. I make a note so it stays in place the way I want it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to pass this through here, and then that's one through one hole, and then I'm going to pass it through the other hole, the second hole that we've made, It's so simple, and yet I've been so lazy about getting it done. But then sometimes it's not been laziness inside. So what you can see is, you see, look, voila. So it's going to sit in that soil, and then we're going to tie it off at the bottom. It's just because the ends are frayed, so that's why I like to tie it. It doesn't make a difference. And what you'll do is you'll put your water in here, drop this in, plant goes in there, and then you put your compost in here, making sure to surround the cord all the way to just about here. So if you put the compost all the way around, it will end up sitting like this, and then that way what you have is a pot which will have water being whipped into the compost and maintaining the right level of moisture, not too much, not too small. So that's your lesson for the day. So let me go off and do this and finish it so that I can relax knowing that my avocado plant is fine. I'm also considering bringing in one of the Scotch bonnet plants so that they don't all die. So I'm going to be doing that one as well, and then I'll show you the end result. Okay, here's our avocado plant set in with the hanging that is going to sit in the bottom. I've actually got rainwater in here, so wherever possible I'll try and utilize the rain whilst we've got it, and I've set that in there. And so the finished plant will look like this. And if I was planning it really well, I would have put in a water level indicator, but I'm not going to do that. The leaves will tell me, and being winter, plants tend to grow less. But let's see what this plant will do. I have not put any feed in this compost because it's fresh compost, but in about, I think this compost has enough feed for about 6 weeks. So after that I'll put some slow release feed in. So I'll dig holes around the edge and put some slow release feed in, and that should be enough to look after the plant. I'll probably think about making a permeable cover for the top, aim being to make sure that I don't actually have any gnats, insects that tend to like living in soil growing, but I also know how to manage that if it happens. So that's the avocado plant. Now let me go get the Scotch bonnet plant. I've decided to save. I had 4 plants. I'm only saving 1, and I'm saving it, and I don't even know why I'm saving it, because I haven't tried the chili to see whether it's nice, and everyone who's eaten it has complained that it's extremely hot. But I have got some friends, some lovely friends of mine who love chili, so hopefully this is the right one to choose. The other ones, because I grew them from a Scotch bonnet seed, are not as good, because a Scotch bonnet, plant fruit, because they look like they've grown slightly differently. They're a bit bigger, so I'm wondering whether or not wherever they were grown, they were cross-pollinated with other types of peppers. So I'm going to leave that, but let me just quickly go and get the other plants up and show you, and then I can relax for the rest of the day. This one is a bit bigger. I'm just bringing it from outside, so I'm a little bit worried about the effect, not on the plant itself, because these plants are pepper plants are quite hardy, but it's all the bugs that will be on here most likely. But being that it's been cold, my hope and expectation is that there were no bugs nearby. So as you can see, this plant is more difficult. Let me just wipe my hands. It's more difficult to fit into the whole picture because it's rather big, and it's already got some ready pretty. I think I've chosen it because it looks so pretty with all those gorgeous colors in it. But what I'm actually going to do to it is I am going to prune it back quite harshly, because we don't have the space. I don't have the space for something that big, and so I'm going to I'm going to just try and sort it out differently. Okay, so we're going to prune whilst trying to maintain most of this fruit, allowing it to ripen, and then I will get it all sorted. Okay, right, let's get pruning now. Right, got my scissors here. So I'm going to take off all the excess edges of plant. If it's green and tiny, I'm going to get rid of it. Matter of fact, these plants will continue to grow if they've got the right temperature, so I'm not worried that it's going to die. I could really theoretically prune it a bit more harshly here, but I have difficulties with killing plants. I'm not very good at it. So bugs that are bad for my plants, yeah, easy, but let's do it. Stella is feeling bad. Oof. Right, I'm just taking off anything that feels a little bit weak, pulling away easily when I cut at it or when I pull at it. And let's just move this back a little bit. Hopefully you can see. I'm tempted to cut this out, but look, it's got all of that on there. Well, 4 little peppers. Yeah, I can do it. Go Stella, you can do it. In fact, you can do it better than that. Take it off here. If I take it off here, it will start to grow there. So let's do it. Oh, jeez, that was painful. Ah, Stella's screeching. So, but this is winter prep. And for winter prep, we need a plant that will actually stay quite comfortably in the little space we have for it. Do I or don't I? Do you know what? Oh, so difficult. All these I feel should go, but then it leaves very little, and then what have you rescued? So let's leave it like this. I'll take off these seeds, take off that. I'm taking off any leaves that look like they're not happy leaves. Take this off. This one has nothing on it, so it can come off. So we can maintain just a few branches. Probably a little bit too stiff for me to shape now, but ideally it would be great if I could have shaped them. Because it was an outdoor plant, that wasn't the plan for it, and so I can't really start to try and shape it now. Could try, because ideally you want this to curl, so I might buy some wire and see whether or not I can get it to do that for me. But we'll leave these few. Take this one off because it doesn't have much in way of growth on it, so we're left with, and because it was leaning in the pot it was in, I've tried to stand it up by lying it slanted in the pot, and I've covered the stem quite a way up, because wherever you cover up a pepper plant on a stem you get roots. So that's the plan, is to give it more roots over the winter, and then in the summer it will go back out, grow some more, and then I'll bring it back in the winter, and ultimately you'll end up with a granny plant. I've already got one that's a few years old, and this is going to be another. So we are going to see how it does. Right, another thing I'm going to do, which seems a bit weird, is I'm going to give it a wipe down. Because it's been outside, I'm trying to eliminate as much of the outdoor material as I can, so that we don't have disease in the house affecting the avocado plant. So I know it seems a bit weird. You're like, Stella, it's a plant, it grows in soil. Yep, I know it grows in soil, but we're bringing it indoors, so we need to welcome it by showing it what we do with our indoor babies. Indoor babies need to be clean, not sterile, just clean, and ideally with no outdoor potential diseases. Voila, there you go. Oh, isn't that pretty? That little bit of color in the winter and in those spots makes it look gorgeous. And let's take prettiness out of the way. Right, come on. Put prettiness aside. And there's my avocado plant. Finally indoors and hopefully going to grow nice and strong. The avocado plant was in the mini greenhouse I have, so it had continued to thrive and grow. So all I did was repot it together with the little bit of compost it still had, and it will slowly, hopefully, continue to grow. Always wanted one of these, and now I do have one. Hey! Right, thank you. Okay, I wasn't going to record this, and then I thought, why not? Because when I opened it, I realized it's some of the bits and pieces I'm getting for next year. But this is just, I ride online, and so, and I use Mr. Socks. I had to replace them because I keep losing them. This is something for the garden. It's just to allow me to, oh, it does too. Oh well, one will go to the allotment. So basically it's a soil thing. It's a thing that actually you can put soil on when you're potting up plants so that you don't get your soil, your compost getting lost all over. So it's quite big actually. So I don't know whether they work together or not. I don't think they do, because what you do is you create a square by popping these together and then you have space to work. So that's pretty decent, because it allows me to do this kind of thing indoors. So that's one thing. And then obviously last year I managed to grow tomatoes in the winter, and I'm thinking, could I try to grow tomatoes again? And so what I'm thinking is I might sow just one seed. If it grows, that's the only plant I'll have, and then I can actually have it in the sitting room window, where I've also just put the avocado plant and the scotch bonnet. I'm running out of space. But I love to see plants growing, and winter is no different. So we might have just one plant, and then if when it starts to fruit, it will start fruiting probably in January, and then we'll have little cherry tomatoes from Jan. So that's one. And then I was watching a YouTube video and someone grew these and they got pretty shape. So next year I want to grow some Trinidad peppers. Apparently they're a little bit chillyful, but not much, and they've got good flavor. So this is going to be my chili pepper for next year, because this year, although I did the scotch bonnet, no one seemed to like it. Well, I haven't had any feedback that says, oh yes, please more. So that one is going. And last but not least, I've forgotten now I ordered this, is this. I saw it on the Potty Mouth Gardening Club podcast, whatever you want to call it, and I was looking for something that would allow me to plan how I actually do my garden. So let me have a look at this with you. This is going to be my first opening of it, so I haven't actually seen it at all, and it looks like it's got lots of lovely colors. Oh. So I'm going to start at the beginning, work through it, make it a project that we'll go through together, and hopefully by the end of the year we will know more about allotment gardening. I'm so excited. I'm going to leave you guys because now I just have to go and stroke my book, as I do. Yes, I do stroke books. My favorite places to be are bookshops, because in bookshops you find books and you get to open them, you get to touch them. Yes, 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 yes. Excitement greatest for my new purchase. We'll see how I'm going to use it, and hopefully it will be as exciting for you as it is for me. But ultimately, this is my diary of what I've been up to, what's been going on in my life, what I love to do. I go through phases, and currently my phase is this. So I'm off to enjoy myself. Ciao, ciao.